Okay, so we've determined that we need some bladder retraining, and our body is giving us signals that we need to pee before our bladder is actually full. So we're looking to extend those pee windows from say 45 minutes to an hour, and then an hour to hour and 15. And we want to have tools that help us be able to get there, even though our brain and our pelvic floor and our bladder are saying it's time to go now. This can also be helpful when we're in a scenario like putting our key in the door or at the grocery store, where we're not entirely sure where the restroom is, but we need to try to make it there calmly. So there's two different categories of urge suppression. I like to call the one side up regulation and the other side down regulation. Ideally, we're working towards down regulation over time, but in emergency situations, up regulation can be great as well. So my big strategies there for up regulation are going to be, I feel the urge to pee, then I could do something like a couple calf raises. So I'm raising up to my toes, and I'm going up and down, and pumping those ankles and calves sometimes helps our pelvic floor and bladder feel a little bit more calm. The next thing is, if you're standing and you have the capability to sit, then you can sit down. If you're sitting and that comes on, you can stand up, and just generally moving our bodies around does sometimes help us feel like that urge goes away. Other thing with upregulation is going to be possibly doing a few little Kegel contractions. So contracting the pelvic floor muscles. So imagining there's a little blueberry or a marble sitting at vaginal opening, and you're just going to squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, squeeze, relax, and see if that helps you suppress that urge, carry on doing the thing that you were doing, and then waiting until that next urge comes, and then you can go to the restroom. If the urge does not go away with that, you could try some of the down regulation techniques, or it might just be time to go. And so again, working towards calmly making your way to the bathroom. We're not ripping off our clothes, and we are going to go and then empty our bladder. When you do that, make sure you're counting your pee stream so we can track if that bladder was fully full or not. Might be that that bladder was just full and it was time to go, which is okay. All right, so our down regulation techniques. I prefer to work towards down regulation techniques because we want our nervous systems to be a little more calm. We want this whole scenario to be a little bit more calm. Okay, so the first urge suppression technique is to just pause. I feel the urge to go. I'm just going to pause, and I'm going to take a few deep breaths. And as I take a few deep breaths, I feel a little more relaxed, and maybe it passes. The other one that's down with down regulation is just some self-talk to say, sounds silly, but hey bladder, I hear you, I see you, I'm going to make my way to the bathroom, or I'm going to make it, everything's going to be okay. And it's wild how we can communicate with our bladder a little bit and decrease that sense of urgency and how extreme that may feel. Next down regulation urge suppression technique is to actually relax your butt cheeks. Relax your butt, relax your anus. It's really, really common that when we feel that urge to go, we start clenching our butt, start clenching our pelvic floor, and actually trying to let it go. While that seems counterintuitive, right? Because we think if we let go, our bladder is just going to let go. It won't happen. We actually have some internal sphincters inside of our bladder that won't let that pee out when we relax everything else. And that's definitely a trust the process technique, but being able to take a few deep breaths, talk to our bladder, relax our butt cheeks, and breathe can be really, really helpful, dialing down the intensity of that urge. The last one is reference centers, and there's going to be a whole section on reference centers where we also talk about using those reference centers for coughs and sneezes. But we want to think about, where are we at? Are we on our toes with our back really tight, up on our forward, tightening our body and trying to rush to the bathroom? Or can we come back onto our heels, relax our butt cheeks, relax our low back, and then just breathe. So I find it sometimes a little easier to put one foot behind the other and then take a few deep breaths. If you're sitting, put your weight over onto your left sit bone or a sit bone instead of perching on the edge of that seat, and just taking a few deep breaths. Again, seeing if we can get this down regulation. One of my other favorite ones is if you're at the grocery store and you're pushing a cart, is to actually just rest your elbows on the cart and kind of round your back and take a few calm deep breaths and see if that dials down that urge. Again, if that doesn't dial down the urge, doing your best to calmly make your way to the bathroom and then not undressing till you're at the toilet, sitting, relaxing, and then letting all that pee out. And our strategies for optimal emptying of our bladder is going to be below this lesson. And yeah, hopefully that helps bring some things together and helps you understand different ways that we can retrain our bladder, suppress these urges, and have optimal bladder function.